No, it's good. Depressing is good. Sometimes.
Get around, look at that little play. Fire, man, I'm more on the phone like fish. You wanna be good in a Lucy. We check it out. We're sitting on me. See you hot. Turn it over to the rest of the right.
All right.
Yeah, that's not depressing actually. That's cool.
It's more the whole. You're right. It's are we all doing good, or is it
It's the end of the world as we know it. Get around, look at that little play. Fire,
the world is changing?
on the phone like fish. You wanna be good in a Lucy. We check it out. We're sitting on me. See you hot. Turn it over to the rest of the right.
Anyways, I don't want to mess up your YouTube broadcast.
Yeah,
I'll let
that's
you
not
get back
depressing
to your
actually.
normal
That's cool.
trade review, my friend.
Thank you.
It's more the whole. You're right. It's are we all doing good, or is it the?
Oh, thanks,
Is
pal.
it? Yeah, you put Disney, Microsoft, and MGM. If you look up those three, they all had beautiful lightning bolt patterns. So you can apply the lesson from last night to those stocks today.
Oh, I need to watch that lightning bolt again. Yeah. So hey YouTube, and this is Peter. He usually does those interesting intros for me. I do love them. I hope you also like it, guys. But yeah, it's a trade review session, and let's get into it. Before I go to the trades of our members, I will not go through all of my trades today. Later, if we have some time, I'll go through the rest of my trades. But I want to show you an example of bad trading here, and I'll tell you my rules for these reversals, where I actually applied it and where it was good and where I just broke my rules. So that is my epic pen. You guys see my screen, right? You should be able to see it. Okay, perfect. So SQ, it opened up so strong today. Independent of the SPY was so extended from the 9 moving average and the 5-minute chart. By this moment, the first time I tried to short it, it made already around $4 move. And if we combine the pre-market to it, it will be around $7 move, or yeah, around $7 move. So yeah, I thought it was pretty extended. Because of this, and I told you guys, sometimes those type of stocks, they give you the setup. Sometimes they give you that doji, they give you the new 2-minute low, or they give you the shooting star on the 1-minute chart, then they give you the new 1-minute low, and you are able to catch it and get a good move. Sometimes though, they do a huge 1-minute candle, then they do another huge 1-minute candle. This is a green candle, this is a red candle, $2 candle, and then they just reverse, and you can't catch it on a new 1-minute low or a new 2-minute low after it did around $2 move, right? The risk to reward just gets messed up. And here I was afraid of that. I was afraid if I wait for my perfect setup to happen, it will just go without me. I had FOMO. So I tried to pre-enter it a few times. Now let me tell you what good entries we had. This entry, the first one here, yes, I did not have the new 2-minute low, but in my opinion, this one, it was perfect. It wasn't bad. Why is that? The stock was going up, and look at this, no new 1-minute low, no new 1-minute low, all the way here, no new 1-minute low. So if someone is watching this stock and he is in it long, holding all the way till the first new 1-minute low to partial, this will be really obvious, right? It's just going straight up, and then it's doing a doji with slightly increasing volume. You see the volume? I need to mute my PC because it calls some stocks. It does a doji with an increasing volume, new 1-minute low. I take it to the short side, I put my stop loss, and I get subbed out. So this I'm totally fine with. This here, I entered it without even a new 1-minute low. Why is that? Look at this, the candle is $1.50. And the risk to reward is already messed up. I don't like it. I decide to take it to the short side with a really tight stop loss, and I get stopped out immediately after that. 1 hour loser. Second entry here, revenge trading. I knew my stop loss was so tight, that's why I got stopped out. I take it to the short side again, I give it a little bit more room, and I get stopped out. Then look at this, I see those wicks here. Selling pressure, selling pressure, selling pressure, red candle, new 1 minute low, new 2 minute low. Now this is good. So this trade, it was fine, but I got stopped out. Second trade was, this trade was fine, but I got stopped out here. And I gave it enough room this time. Those two trades, they were horrible. I shouldn't have taken them. So that was an extra -2 hours. Continued watching this thing, and look at this. What do we have here? Now this one, I also don't think this was bad. Selling pressure here, weak. Selling pressure here, selling pressure here, closing a sort of shooting star, making a new 1 minute low. Now this was good, I took it to the short side. My problem here is that I had a really tight stop loss again. I had only 25 cents stop loss. It wasn't that good, but look at this. I made all the losses back and more. You see how much I held into it? Why did I hold that much into it? No new 1 minute high. It was just clearly selling off. Once it gave me the 8R move, I took only 10%. I didn't take a huge partial. Remember I told you sometimes they take 20% partials, sometimes they take 30% partials. The moment I took a partial here, I took it only to cover some of those losses. So I traded my PNL, but I saw that it was still making no new 1 minute high. So those partials, because they were doing no new 1 minute high, were only 10% partials all the way down here. Then this trade right here, I took it to the long side. I didn't intend to have it to the long here. I wanted to get my entry here, but the pop was so quick that I got a bad feel, and I'm just holding on to it. It never hit my stop. It's just consolidating. It's slightly going up and slightly green on it, but yeah, SQ was strong today. I don't think this was already a huge drop. I don't think it could have gone any lower than that. This is the pre-market high level. So yeah, let's see what it does later. I'm just going to hold it till the end of the trade review. This trade is setting up for a reversal now. I'm not going to take it. It's already so extended. Now it's pulling back here. Yeah, actually, I think this would have been a good entry here after this shooting star right there. Stop loss would be a good here, 1068. But let's see what it does. Now let's go to the trade review, I guess. Your trades, guys. I was thinking about that too, but I have noticed that pullback are slow, but continuation is way faster. Yeah, that's true sometimes, Val. Now, Ram, let's see what you have traded. You traded AMD, you have started trading it in the pre-market. I see that this was a short in the pre-market. And you partial, I don't think it was a bad one. The volume was so low on AMD in the pre-market, wasn't it? Yes, Alistair, I'm using the pointer. Okay, so that's AMD. You took it to the short side, you took a partial, not bad, good one. This trade right here, I wouldn't have taken it. Why is that? First of all, it's in the middle of the range. And second of all, it's stuck between moving averages and you got in the middle. If you wanted to take it to the short side, in my opinion, the best entry as close as possible to the resistance, though I wouldn't take it. This is just the first 1 minute and I'm not sure what it's going to do, and eventually it just closes as a doji. The moving average crossed, that indicates a reversal, indicates weakness, but the market today has been strong, so I don't think this was the best play to try to the short side when the market is strong. And remember, if you see this bigger moving average, which is the 50, it's still below the price action. The price action here is above it, and usually the 50 moving average on the 1 minute chart, it coincides with the 9 moving average on the 5 minute chart. I'm not sure about this here, but yeah, most of the time it is. So basically that just shows you that the stock is on an uptrend, it's not on a downtrend, and here we just tried to counter trend it when it was so close to the support area. What we needed to do here is, I said, as I usually say, wait for a breakout, pull back, and trend continuation. If that doesn't happen, we go in for a trend continuation because it's generally uptrending. The market is just strong. Now this is a pullback. This is the moment where we just lay our hands off and wait to see what's going to happen. You could see here a small descending triangle forming out, right? It's downtrending, it's a descending triangle, but it never breaks the descending part. Then it breaks to the long side, and now this is a good setup to take it to the long side. Either here, either here. This is already a chase. Not bad for a scalp with a new 1 minute low. But yeah, this would be a chase around here. I see you got it to the long side, or you tried. Wait, were those shorts? And then you partial? I think there were shorts, right? I can't see you, Ramlal, typing anything, but I think that was averaging, and try to avoid this. If that was averaging down, or averaging up, till it finally went in your direction and you partialed, make sure not to do that. Why is that? Because this could just kill you. Getting stuck in a long position is more merciful than getting stuck in a short position. If you are long, the worst thing you could do is just lose your capital and get back to zero, and that's so rare. You'll get to zero if the stock just goes to zero, right? If you are stuck in a short, you can just simply blow up so fast, because you never know how much it can go to the long side. And remember, we are stuck. We are starting some sort of bullish trend in the market, right? It looks like we bottomed down. I'm not really sure about that, but at least looks like that. Last few days were a little bit bullish, and if you are stuck in a bullish position or a bullish market, that could end up so bad. We should always have stop loss.
EURN.
Hey Jajitsin, if you have any questions, feel free to type them here. Okay, that took a little bit too much for review. Let's check the second trade. Mark, reversal. First two attempts failed. Good signal on the 5-minute chart for the third attempt. Early emotional first partial. You didn't want to have another losing trade. Partial view up and moving average. Yeah, so you traded SQ, and I could say you actually did better than me, Mark. You took it to the short side one time here on a new 2-minute low, but you get subbed out. You took it one more time on a new 2-minute low, but you got subbed out. I mean, I think the stop was so tight, I would wait for at least just a little bit up there. I also had tight stop loss. I don't blame you there. I'm just sharing the bad things I did, and I think you had even tighter stop losses than the ones I had, right, Mark? But other than that, yeah, at least you got into two good setups which failed, and the third setup which actually worked out. The one not really good thing is the early partials. And remember, when we are getting into a good setup which actually works, if it works, it will be a good reward, and we will get stuck sometimes in losing positions. Minus 1 R, right? We need to make it all up on the winning position. Okay, guys, can you hear me? I see that the chat is stuck, and I need to confirm that my internet is not dead. Okay, that's good. That's good. Because I had connection issues last week, and it'll be sad if I do the trade review for me this whole hour. So let's see what you did here, Ramlan, on Microsoft. I see this is a strong uptrend here. It's around $3 or $4 move with no pullbacks. I assume it was a little bit extended from the 9 on the 5. I don't think it was so extended from the 9 on the 5 though. It was above view up. It did pull back, hold view up, and started making higher lows. Yes, this one worked out. I would be a little bit hesitant taking it right against view up. It wasn't the worst setup, and it wasn't the best as well. Why is that? We're having sort of an uptrend here. We're having sort of a downtrend here. It's sort of a pennant. Then we wait for a breakout to one of the two directions, and we choose our position right there. So yeah, this wasn't the worst. It wasn't A+, but it wasn't bad. So that's good. You partialed well. And then I see a lot of micro trades right here, right? It just reminds me of myself, where I was afraid that the stock would just simply go without me. I was afraid that I will not be in the move. So I was trying to catch each new high, each new low, just to get into that position so that it doesn't go without me. But remember, if the stock is doing some sort of setup, but that setup is horrible or it's bad, it's not the best maybe, just let it go without you. It wasn't the best, right? Better sitting at break even rather than sitting negative. And before taking each trade, remember this. Don't think about how much you can make on this trade. Treat each trade as it will be a loser. think of how much you can lose on this trade. Does this setup worth losing your R? If it's a good setup and it's worth risking it, then yes. If not, then just let it go without you. Hey RK, Andrew does some trade reviews on his recaps, and he does those recaps every day, so make sure to watch them there. But I'll definitely let him know. Thank you. Let's see what Lenny did. Lenny traded Apple. I like this one. So you could see that it was pulling back or dropping down. The moving average is still sort of strong. They are just horizontal. It's holding this 20 moving average on the 5-minute chart right here. So here it was forming a descending triangle, right? It was just trying to break down of this descending triangle. That breakdown failed. It went to the long side. So the pattern was just broken. You got in with the trend to the long side and started partialing up the rest of break even. So yeah, this wasn't bad. It was good. Now let's see what you thought about it. You spotted support at 267.60. That's it. Below, and Apple seemed to want to push a bit higher. Sense some strength. Was that correct? I also saw that the times and bigger asks on the level 2. Entered off the break of the resistance. Right here, I guess. What are your thoughts? What should we? Okay, so yeah, I think this setup, it was good. It wasn't bad at all. You got in with the trend. It held the support as you said. By this moment it was descending triangle, so definitely wouldn't take it to the long side anywhere here. I would have considered taking it to the short side actually for the breakdown. But the moment it broke up, it was a good entry to the long side here or here. What would be my stop loss? The best technical stop loss is this. I personally wouldn't give it this much room. I would just give it all the way to view up, at least just to give it some room. Not because this is a technical stop loss, but only because this seems like it's enough room for it to pull back without getting me stopped out. But I think it was a good one. Thomas, let's see what you did there. Impulsive trade extended, but no good signal candle. So you tried to catch a parabolic reversal on NCLH 2 times and you got stopped out 2 times. Now look at this. One of my rules, like the main rule is get in at a new 2-minute low, right? Like this is the main rule for me. I can get in at new 1-minute lows, that's totally fine. If I see like a perfect trend or a good looking 1-minute candle or 2-minute candles. But look at this, the wick here is below. So yes, it's a new 2-minute low or new 1-minute low. What? This is a 1-minute chart, right? Yeah, this is actually the 1-minute chart. So yeah, this is a new 1-minute low. But look at this, this is a hammer. It's just getting both back up, right? This is showing you strength. So yeah, as you mentioned, it was an impulsive trade and it was too early to take it to the short side. This definitely looks better. I see that you're having a daily level here. It's holding that daily level. It's making a new low. This would have looked better, but I don't like that candle here. It's just white bar candle and another white bar candle. Not a tight stop loss. Yeah, I would just avoid this one. This looked better. I don't think there was anything bad with this. You just took it to the short side for an extreme reversal and you got stopped out. I would have re-entered though. It's doing a double top at the high of the day. It did break it slightly, but it couldn't break higher. And then it went down. So yeah, in this case, I would have definitely re-entered a double top and a new low. This should have been avoided. This was a good one, just didn't work out. A re-entry here would have been also good. Oh, you were at max loss after that second trade. What's your max loss, Thomas? 2 hours? Yeah, that's it, Zen. This was a good setup. It was at a whole number, $14, extended from the 9-moving average and the 5-minute chart, doing a new 1-minute low here. And look at the time, by the way. This is 10:05, right? This is the moment where this candle opened, and it's also forming a new 5-minute low, not only a new 1-minute low. So this is actually even better. Okay, I see that. We'll get to your next trades, of course. Let's see what there. Lenny. This is similar setup to Apple, not literally the same. I could see here, apparently the same thing. Lows. That's it here. It doesn't break down, it does break up. You take it to the long side and start partialing. So yeah, this was a good one. This long was also amazing. It was holding the support clearly, not breaking it down. Took it to the long side, tight stop loss, and started partialing up. So yeah, both of those trades, they were amazing. Good job, Lenny. First trade, the stock seemed to move up, gliding on VO up, and you entered in the stock when it broke the resistance of the previous 5-minute candle. Second trade, the stock seemed to bounce that moving average. I see that. It didn't want to fall below it. When the candle pushed above the high of the previous 7 1-minute candles, you added to your position. So this was an add, right? It wasn't a new position to the long side. But it was good. And remember, guys, what you said? When do we add to our position? We add to our positions if we see a setup that we would have taken if we weren't in a position before, right? So if I miss this move here, and I see this is being formed right here, I would actually get into this trade. It's not a bad one, right? It's just doing some sort of double bottom here. It tried to break, but it couldn't. It's doing a new 1-minute high, not a bad step to the long side, and then just partial all the way up. One thing though, I would have held this first partial. It was so early. Why is that? You took the partial where the trend actually started to move. This was the resistance area right here, right? You took the partial right at the break. This is where all the shorts, if there were shorts, would get stopped out and where the move is going to begin. What's the closest resistance level we have? Those close of the bodies and this daily level. So yeah, the daily level would have been the best place to take your first partial at. High of the day, not bad place to take second partial, then the next daily level. You took the same trade, Zen. Yeah, that's interesting. Let's see it. So yeah, look at this. Same thinking. ABCD pattern, the C. Daily maker could have said the partial. Yeah, you see, this is literally the same setup. And Zen saw it, Lenny saw it, and I bet a lot of other day traders saw this thing as well. Because it was obvious support, obvious breakout, and I like how you held it. Yeah, that was good. You didn't partial immediately after the breakout. You held it a little bit more. I would still wait for at least to this level, but yeah, it was good. I mean, the stop was definitely so tight on this one, and definitely got your R's there. First partial is to cover some commissions. Okay, I see that. Do you pay a lot for commissions? What's the broker you're using? Interactive brokers. The commissions should be really cheap there. I mean, I don't even notice them. So let's see what Dan did there. SQ, you tried that for a parabolic reversal. You were more patient than me. That was good. You took it at a new 2-minute low. I would take it earlier at the break of the body, but I think the price action was so fast. You took it to the short side. That was really early partial. I mean, I'm glad this turned out into a winner, but remember, when this setup works out, it will give you a good reward. So it's better to learn to hold. I mean, I'm still learning to hold and I'm becoming better at that. I'll show you actually another trade I held on to today. But yeah. This SQ, you took it to the long side, and this was amazing as well. Look at these guys. No new 2-minute low, no new 2-minute low, high, no new 2-minute high. Till it finally does the new 2-minute high. We're done, took it to the long side. This is also parabolic reversal, and this is where I actually also took it to the long side. I still didn't partial anything, but yeah, this was a good setup. Let me see what SQ is doing now. Did it actually? Because I don't have stop loss by the way in SQ. EURN. Look at this. Isn't this perfect, guys? going up, 2-minute doji, new 1-minute low, new 2-minute low, short stop loss somewhere right here, and then just hold it to the 9 and the 5. SQ is still doing nothing. So yeah, another trade I've taken today was SU. And look at this. I am finally better at holding. I mean, at least today I've been much better at holding. Look at it. It did sort of double top, second top lower than the first one. Two good looking 1-minute candles. So my rule, either a new 2-minute low or two good looking 1-minute candles or two dojis. New 1-minute low, took it to the short side. That was my stop loss here. Partial closer to the 9 moving average on the 5-minute chart. Next partial below view up, and this was just 5% left. Here we're 5% left. And why did I exit all here? Let me show you why. It was forming a descending triangle, right? Not clear, but here, like the small descending triangle here on the 1-minute chart. Small descending triangle there. Let me just draw it. Sort of a small descending triangle, and it tried to break down. Last 3 candles, I didn't like them. They were showing buying pressure, higher highs and higher lows on the 1-minute chart. So I just decided to bail on my last 5% of my position. It did break out down, still didn't hit my target. My target was 1650, right here at the low, at the break of the low of the day. And look at this, it actually went up. So yeah, this descending triangle actually failed right there, and it already did one fake breakdown. This was another fake breakdown. I think this was actually a good setup to the long side. Maybe I would have taken it, I'm not sure, but yeah. So the point here is, when this setup works out, it will give you a good reward, and we need to hold into it. Yes, we'll get subbed out more often, but when they do work out, they will give a good reward. Lucas traded AAL. So is Lucas here? What was your setup here? See, this is for me just a little bit of a late entry. Not a little bit, I think it's a, yeah, you took it for a breakout, but you didn't do the breakout, right? By this moment, you took it for the breakout. Because look at this, this is the resistance area. This is the day, at the high of the day, right? That's it. And you took it for the breakout so early before the breakout. And let's think about it this way. If you wanted to take it for the breakout and you are intending to get in before the breakout, why getting in right into the resistance? Why not getting in earlier? It's still the same thing, right? You're going for the breakout. It's still below the resistance, right? Better get an early entry with a good stop loss just to have better reward than getting a late entry. The problem here is when the stock is so close to forming our setup, we start getting FOMO, right? We're starting to get FOMO and we start to pre-enter. It's the same thing with my SQ trades. It's not only you to blame, I'm also doing that. Like my SQ, it didn't give me the setup yet, right? But I still took it because of FOMO. Here it's the same, it still didn't give you the setup. And it's a little bit late. And remember, when the stock is going up and it's hitting resistance, it usually does pullbacks. And then we start revenge trading. That was revenge trading with a lot of stops right there. So the best entry here was new 5-minute high right there, right here. Why is that? It was weak. It did sort of reverse ABCD pattern, but it couldn't break down and it came back up. So it did double bottom with the second bottom higher than the first one. On a strong day, looking at the moving averages, I see that the moving averages are below it, so it's uptrending. It's doing a new 5-minute high. This is a good entry to the long side. This is a good entry to the long side. This is the best technical stop loss right there. And then just hold for your target. Then it does another higher low right here. So it's showing you strength. Yes, the high is the same. The lows are getting higher. So we're forming sort of an ascending triangle. It fails one more time, and yeah, if you want to take it to the long side anywhere here or here, I mean, I think if I took it to the long side here, I would put my stop loss somewhere around view up, but here I would definitely put my stop loss at this level because it held it 2 times right there. So there, it's good. That's a good question. How about getting in when it actually breaks out? Here, if you get in when it breaks out, it's totally fine. That's good. Getting in here, if it breaks out, it's bad. What's the difference? The difference is here it did a huge move to the long side with no pullbacks. You see this? It's going up to the long side with no pullbacks. It does break out, but it's still no pullback. What will be your stop loss? It can do a breakout, and when the stocks break out, they take some force, right? They tend to pull back. Where will it pull back to? To the previous, to this resistance area? Downside, a little bit lower? We don't know. So that's a bad entry. Here, when you take it to the long side, it already did the pullback, and it's going for the breakout. So you can take it to the long side with a stop loss either here or a new 1 minute low as you went in for the breakout. Peter, we're always trying to predict. That's right. But we get in with setups. There is different if you get in early when the setup is there and it's giving you confirmation, and when you are getting early hoping that it will do something. Here I can see a setup, an ascending triangle. I can see a supports happening, and we are going in still for the breakout. This was an entry for the breakout. An entry here will also be an entry for the breakout. But the difference is here we're having enough confirmation. It's holding, it's trying to break out, it's holding the moving average, it's forming an ascending triangle. Not a bad entry. This here is just the first time getting into this resistance. It could just reject it and drop down. Yeah, I see this. Look at this on the 5 minute chart. It is still extended here on the 5 minute chart, right? It's just going up. Here it was good. Like you had the red candle which held the moving average and then went up. So this entry, it was totally fine. I like this one. This was 100% a setup maybe. Not A plus, but yeah, A is definitely good. This was definitely a good one. Those two, they were just a little bit early. Yeah, that's it, Peter. The consolidation before the breakout, that's the difference. Let me see if I missed something. Lenny, Thomas, Dan, Ram. I think I missed some trade, guys. Did I miss anything? We went through... I think I didn't go through KSS. And then inbox. This is same cases as yours. Yeah, this was a good one. Look at this, guys. This is so obvious. No new 2 minute low. On these ones, on these type of setups, I love the new 2 minute lows. Why is that? Sometimes there is price action on parabolic reversals where the stock is doing something like this. Okay, it's doing the new 2 minute low here. It did the new 2 minute low here, and then I see it. It's so extended and it's doing a new 2 minute low. I'm still hesitant about taking it. Why is that? Because it did 2 minute lows a few times before and they failed. What if this time it also fails? That's just makes me a little bit hesitant, and I'm not sure about taking the setup. When I see that it's clearly doing no new 2 minute low, and then this is the first new 2 minute low, that's where I really like the setup. That's where I take it to the short side, put my stop loss, and then just hold. Remember, guys, when those setup work out, they just work out really well. We don't need to partial early on those ones. Sorry, lower high. Lower low, the new low, yeah. And I think I took a small partial too early. I had to exit break even. Yeah, I see that. Same thing, by the way. If I took a partial, I will be forced to exit the break even. But if I don't take partial, I just hold. think I missed one trade. I bet I missed someone's trade because I'm looking at the trades now. So guys, if I missed one of your trades, let me know. Now I'm going to Lenny and Vax. And then let me actually download them so that I don't. This way it will be better. This way I will definitely not miss them. Lenny and Vax, then Thomas, and then Mark Disney. Prince Trader, can you send it in the off-topic chat so that I don't miss it there? So, and Vax, you tried to take it to the short side. Now, this is not bad, actually. Remember what we said? The first time the stock gets into a support area, it usually bounces out of it. The second time it gets into it, it usually breaks it. In this case, it didn't really break it. One thing, though, this was a huge drop. It was extended from the 9 moving average on the 5-minute chart. And this was just a pullback to the 9 moving average on the 1-minute chart. And remember, the 9 moving average on the 1-minute chart, it's always close to the price action. So it's not the best pullback to take for the breakout. I would wish to see a bigger pullback before I take it. Then you could see that it's just starting to do higher low waves, which indicates a long pattern. You took it to the long side, I see, because of that, and that wasn't a bad long. I like this long. One thing though, the support. You could see that this is the clear support right here. This should have been the support. I'm not sure. Did it eventually went to the long side? I think it did. It should. Like looking at this, it's a clear uptrend. If it was a good setup, it should eventually break out. But the stop loss was a little bit tight in this here. This actually from yesterday, 8th of April. And yes, I remember it yesterday. It eventually did break out. This one 100% it did break out. So yeah, the stop loss was a little bit tight in this one. I don't think I wouldn't have quit here. Like it's clearly closing every time above this moving average. It's just closing above it. I would put my stop loss right here, below this level right here. But I might do an exception if it closes below this moving average. I would exit a little bit earlier. I've been trading for 2 years now, Artyom. Thomas and Mark, let's see. Yes, I did learn in BBT. This was the only community I've been at, and I've learned everything here. I wouldn't say I learned everything from the moderators. I learned a lot from members, from the moderators, from the videos on YouTube, and practicing as well. The most important thing is journaling. But definitely BBT showed me the way of how to start correctly, how to start your learning curve, how to go through your learning curve correctly. So Mark, this is your Disney trade. You took it to the short side, right? Now, okay, I like this setup actually. This is one of the setups I usually take as well. My stop loss here is so tight in these type of setups. I don't know how to call it. Yeah, I don't know how to call it. Anyway, this stock, it was strong, right? It was above view up, above the moving averages. It was just uptrending. It pulled back. It did break the level. And look what happened after that. It's doing an engulfing. This, for now, like around here, this is an engulfing crack. Okay? You take it to the short side here. Now this is an engulfing crack, but I wouldn't take this one to the short side here. Why is that? Because you have this level right here. It held it before, and I would be afraid it will actually bounce out of this one and continue going higher. I would just wait. Then I see that this engulfing actually closed below this support area. Now it's below all the moving averages. You see? Now the trend changed. It's below the moving averages. What do I do after that? I wait for this. I see that it opened here. I see that the candle goes to white, to the green. As long as it's doing that, I'm doing nothing. Once I see that the candle is going from green to red, so it's green here because it was going higher, then it starts pulling back down and it forms a red candle. So that's my confirmation for the entry, and my stop loss is just the high of the week. It's a little bit of risky play, a little bit of price action reading, but this is one of the setups I really like, which offer a really good risk to reward. You get a good entry on this one. I'm not sure what was your stop loss there. Yes, Ryan, this is also one of the 3-bar plays, like winner, buyers won here, sellers won here, buyers tried to push it up but couldn't, sellers pushed it down, you take it to the short side, and there it is. So yeah, this one was amazing actually. Yeah, this was a really good one. I like it. I know how you see it. You see it here, right, Ryan? Like huge, then a candle, then a huge here, right? This is where you see it. Yeah. It's just that 3-bar play, it has multiple versions for me, and I still call it 3-bar play, which is wrong here. This is not 3-bar play here. This is the 3-bar play. Stop was 107, you think? 107. Yeah, well, not bad actually, not bad. You just gave it some room. I would give it just at the new 1 minute high, which is not so far actually. Charbel, I'm from Russia. Yeah, Malams, I actually have started trading live around a year and a half ago, a year and 3 months ago. Yeah, Ryan, I've seen your trades there. Yeah, this is not bad. And the stop loss there is so tight, so it does offer really good risk to reward. And by the way, I think... Okay, no, nothing is frozen. Perfect. I thought my PC lagged. That would have been sad. So, Thomas, let's see your AMD trade. Shorted after an inverted hammer for extreme reversal against level loss from 9. You had my risk way so tight. Yeah, your risk was so tight here. So you took it to the short side, and this is not bad. Remember what I told you guys before? This is good. You don't have lower low. No new lower low. Here, you see this? It's just doing higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. Then it's closing at the high of the day as a shooting star, and that's it. Sorry, higher low. I agree with that, Peter. That's it. You see, this is the first higher low. That's it here. You take it to the short side, your entry was amazing, but your stop loss was so tight. And remember, I do have those tight stop losses sometimes, but you need to have stop losses just to survive the candle consolidation, the intercandle consolidation. It can just go a little bit to the long side, then push lower, and then do the move, which happened here, right? You just had a really tight stop loss, and then you re-entered again, I think, right? And you re-entered again. So were these 3 trades there? 1, 2, 3 trades? Yeah, see, one more time, so tight. And this reminds me of my trade on SQ. You are not to blame there. But remember, you need to have a little bit more room. Yes, those trades, when they work out, they offer you a good reward right there. But sometimes, if the stop is so tight, you will lose much more than that. Finally, you did catch it right here, and again, the stop loss should have been somewhere up there, at least above the bodies. And look at this, it actually works out. If you just hold on to your initial trade, when you take it to the short side, just hold on through the whole consolidation. Right? Before, I had this rule. If the stock goes in my favor, then it bounces off a moving average or anything and goes against you, I exited break even, but not anymore. If the setup is perfect and I take it, I just hold through the whole consolidation till it either stops me out or reaches my target. Well, Thomas, it's a good thing you followed your rules. You hit your max loss, you stopped for the day. Mark done. What did you do on JD? So let's go a little bit faster because we're having 15 minutes more. This is the same setup, guys. JD is so extended from the 9 moving average on the 5-minute chart. New 2-minute low, took it to the short side, and remember, just hold on to it. You see, when they work out, they do work out. That's it. But yeah, it's a good thing you took some partials, you exit all at the new high. I would just hold a little bit more through the consolidation, just at least 5%, just to teach us to hold more. That's what I did today on SEO, and this would have been a good winner even with 5% fair position left. But yeah, good execution there. Lucas, we went through these trades, yes. Zen, let's see what you did, Zen. You missed. Okay, yeah, I see this. This would have been a good entry to the long side, sort of a small ascending triangle. It does break out, you take it to the long side, but look at this. You missed the long side and you never chase it. You don't need to chase it. And I like actually how you managed this one, Zen. You didn't take it to the short side here. I got chopped out a few times here. You took it to the short side and got stopped out. Then you took it to the short side at a new low, but yeah, this was a so early partial exit. Just 1 minute more and you would have got this, right? But at least you got it. This time you didn't get the move for a profit, but at least you get the entry. You get the entry. That's worth it. Peter, your trade in cases. Then we'll go to Prince trade. I see that, Zen. Usually you do hold to your 1 hour loss if I'm not wrong. Like, you've been so strict with that. Peter, KSS, so yes, same setup, guys. New 2-minute low, just a little bit late entry, but same thing. New 2-minute low and then just hold on to it. This thing worked out, right? You just get subbed out at break even. And this is my issue. I used to take it at new lows. If it bounces and goes to my break even, I exited break even and then I missed the move. So lately or last week, I've been just holding through the consolidation. It either gets me subbed out at 1 hour or I hold on for a bigger move. I see this hammer right here, but it's extended. Anyway, this is smaller time frame. It's 1 minute, right? If I am seeing this as an ABCD pattern, I wouldn't take it to the long side because of this hammer on the 2-minute chart, because it is so extended on the 5-minute chart. You see the 5-minute chart? It's just so far. Now, it would be as if taking it to the long side here, right? Taking it to the long side here is a chase. If I see this is going right here and it's just pulling back inside this and I take it to the long side here, this is just so late. I wouldn't take it to the long side here, and I doubt a lot of traders will take it to the long side there, even if I see a hammer or multiple hammers right there. It needs to pull back at one point or another, and that's it. I just go in for the pullback. If I see this hammer right here on the 5-minute chart, yes, I would take it to the long side. But hammer here, I definitely wouldn't take that one. Peter, Prince, then Rachel. Now let's see what Prince did. Prince actually wrote some explanation. I need to find it. Okay. First trade, 2-minute open range breakdown, loss of view up, covered 25%. Then second trade, re-entered short, stopped at the daily level. Third trade long after legal claim of view up. Close half at break even. Then re-added partial 25, got subbed out. Fourth trade shorted view up. Okay, now let's see them here. Now this first trade, it's not bad. I like it. It dropped down, did a 3-bar setup right there. This week would have just been a concern to me a little bit, but still it's not bad one. You took it to the short side and you start partial. So yeah, that was fine. Second trade, I wouldn't have taken it here. It's just extended. Like, look at this move, 106 to 105, 20. Yes, this is a reverse hammer. Yes, it looks like it wants to break out, but this is just so late. We don't take it here. If you took it here, it would have been one thing. If you took it here, at least something. Not perfect, not good, definitely wouldn't do that, but at least something. But here, this is a chase. We just avoid going. Like, what would be even your stop loss? You can't put your stop loss at a new 1 minute high, right? This is not the level the stock bounced off. This is the level the stock bounced off, and this is just so far for a stop loss. This long, I wouldn't say that it's good because it broke view up. This is definitely not a view up. Breakout for me. Why is that? It did break view up here. 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 It did break it here. So yeah, the stock isn't respecting view up. So yeah, definitely not a view up play. But what do I see here? I see higher low waves. I see an ascending triangle. And I see it breaking out. So yeah, in this case, this would have been the best setup for this one. You took it to the long side, really tight stop loss, I believe, and you said that. I'd put my stop loss here or here. And this is not the best, but it's not bad. This is definitely the best one. You take it to the long side, or if you take it, yeah, similar to this one. At the breakout right here, I'll put my stop loss at a new 1 minute low for the breakout. And then just take partials similar to what you did there. This short, it was good. I like this one. Why do I like it? Sellers one, buyers one, sellers one, and one more time sellers one. New low, take it to the short side, just give it some room for a momentum play and partial all the way down. So this one was definitely a good one. This one, definitely not. This is shades again. Yes, it's a pullback, but this is a pullback on the 1 minute chart. The 9 moving average on the 1 minute chart, it's always close to the price action. We usually avoid these type of trades. And let me show you actually similar trade I did today on the SPY. Let me see what SQ is doing, still do. Actually, I think I need to add to my SQ trade. Let me just do that. Like, why not? Now let's go to the SPY. And go back. So look at this. I took the SPY to the long side here and here. Why did I take it? I took it just for a scalp for the momentum. I could see this level right here. You see, all the way from here, the close of the bodies till here. I saw it holding the, I saw this resistance right here. Then I saw the higher low waves. I saw strength on the SPY and I took it to the long side. But my entry was late. I definitely didn't get in here for a trend play. I just get in for a scalp. That's why my stop loss was a new 1 minute low. I went in for the breakout, partial at the breakout, exited the rest at new 1 minute low, and that's it. That was it. Was it long? Eventually, yes, it was long, but the entry was bad. An entry should have been somewhere at this level, somewhere closer to view up with the stop loss, the technical level somewhere there. Now let me remember whose trade was this one. Rachel. So Rachel, you traded AMD. Was it a short or long for a parabolic reversal? It was a long. Okay, I like that. I thought it was a short, but looking at it, since it's a long, this was definitely a good one. Dropping a lot, no new high, getting closer to the support area. Let me get my epic pen, which is stuck. That's bad. Why is it stuck? And let me get this there so that I don't miss any questions, and that's it. So yeah, look at this, it's dropping down parabolically, no new high, it's getting extended, getting closer to a support area. You take it to the long side, either here or here. I usually don't take it down here closer to the support, but if I see good signs on the level 2 above daily levels or above round numbers, that's where I sometimes do consider getting an entries even without new 1 minute high, and I will talk about those exceptions when I do the success webinar about this setup. But yeah, that definitely wasn't a bad step to the long side. You partialed all the way up, it wasn't a huge pullback, made another parabolic drop. You took it to the, did you take it to the long side at the bottom right there? What was your sign to get into the long side there? That was a good entry. And by the way, my trading buddy, whom I'm trading with on Discord, we both are trading this setup. He's doing that similar to you. He's just getting in so close to the bottoms. Like, his entries are amazing. He's having 2 cent stop losses, 3 cent stop losses based on the level 2 and how much it's extended. I usually enter a little bit after him once I get my confirmation. But yeah, if you are good at getting those type of entries, that's amazing. I love it. RSI break 30. Okay, I see that. Yeah, you should email me, by the way. Tell me how you are using this RSI. I will implement it and continue testing this setup with the RSI. It's AMD. So this is IG's trade. We don't have much trade, so I think we'll be able to go through them all. Car was unhappy with the first candle too long, but went short second red candle anyway. Stop loss the top of the hammer or the hanging man. So look at these guys, parabolic reversal again. Stock is so extended from the 9 moving average in the 5 minute chart. No need to chase it or take it to the long side. It's doing a new 2 minute low. Yes, the entry is a little bit late, but I'm glad you had your stop loss. You stuck to your stop loss and you held. Look at these guys. You see his first partial? That's amazing. All the way to the 9 moving average in the 5 minute chart. Even below that, you actually held it all the way to view up and then you exited in the 9 and the 5 or at a new 2 minute high. So yeah, this was amazing, IG. Good job holding on to that. Well, a scanner or not, you caught this the stock, you waited for the confirmation and you traded it. The scanner calls a lot of stocks, like each minute maybe, but you chose the proper stock, which was a good job. Yeah, Ryan, they're definitely great. So Oxy trade long, and I like this one. Why do I like it? It's close to the 9 moving average on the 5 minute chart. I have that rule which is telling me never go to the long side on a third continuous green candle and to the long side, and never go to the short side on a third continuous red candle. But there is an exception. If those green candles are small and they are forming sort of setup on the 1 minute chart, I would take it. I see an ascending triangle. I see the first leg up, second leg up, or second ABCD pattern, close to the 9 and the 5, not a bad entry, a really tight stop loss, and then partial all the way up. So yeah, this was a good one, Tyler. Yeah, definitely. The first partial was too early. I would take the first partial closer to this resistance area right here, which was this one. Yeah, this was early. This one was amazing. I don't think anything wrong with it. And the rest is just good. I mean, it's a really tight stop loss. If the stop loss is so tight, we're doing well. Let's see your trade on AAL. AL, you got in at a new 1 minute low. Now look at these guys. This is one of the times where I'm hesitant taking the trade on a new 1 minute low. Look at this. It's going up and it's doing a new 1 minute low at 10. No, at 10 just ignore it. At 10 it was close to the 5. That's it here. Like at 10:05 when it was already getting extended from the 9 and the 5, it did a new 1 minute low, right? Now it's going up and it's doing another new 1 minute low. I would be afraid taking this one to the short side because of this here. It just could do a small wick down there and then continue going higher. One confirmation here though is the daily level. It went all the way to the daily level, bounced out of it, did a new 1 minute low. It took it to the short side, and remember, when they work to the 9 on the 5 minute chart, right? So yeah, this was an early partial, still good entry. The risk to reward was still there, but we need to learn to hold on to these winners. Tony traded USO, took it to the long side, and why didn't you get stopped out here? Or you took it after this week? I guess you took it after this week. What was your stop loss? Where would you put your stop loss given the volatility today? Where would you exit and where would you put your stop loss? You did held really well though. I mean, where would I put my stop loss? If I took it to the long side here, at first I would put my stop loss below this body right here. Then looking at it bouncing out of here and starting to go up, I might consider adding here or here and move my stop loss to this level right here or the moving average. And I bet I would get stopped out on this week or on this week. I don't know how you could survive that. You are really brave. That was an amazing patience there. And it finally breaks out, gets closer to this pivot point right here where you took your first partial. I love your partials and your patience. I think you managed it much better than I would do, because if I took it to the long side here, knowing myself and how I trade, I would add somewhere here and move my stop loss. Like similar to what I did on SQ now. I see that it's looking good. I added to my position and I didn't put a hard stop. What's SQ doing? Look at this. So I added to SQ. Here, I actually didn't even see the 5 minute chart, but I don't care about that. Why is that? I'm holding into a trend trade. Look at the 15 minute chart. I took it to the long side way before. My stop loss was down there. I survived this all ugly consolidation. It's dropping down, coming back up, doing a new 15 minute high where I added to my position. My stop loss here, my new stop loss is this. But I'm still holding. I'm waiting for it to break view up for my first partial. Somewhere here I think I would partial, or at 62 if it works out. I like the support. I like that it's holding this moving average in the 15 minute chart. Look at the 30 minute chart. Look how clean this is. You see this? Isn't this clean? Every time it's closing above the 9 on the 30 minute chart. We're having this consolidation. Once the 30 minute chart breaks up, I think it will run. So let's see what it does in the afternoon. So Prince Trader, your trade here on Disney. Oh, we actually reviewed these ones. So yeah, we actually finished on time, though we had a lot of trades today. So do you guys have any questions? YouTube, if you also have any questions, feel free to ask. I didn't actually see it today, unfortunately. Well, you are welcome all, and thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your trades, guys, winners or losers. And remember, guys, we don't judge you by your winners or by your losers. We all have losing trades, we all have winning trades, and we all do some bad stuff when we are trading. You see that? But we learn more from the mistakes. And look at these guys. You see SQ, it's getting volume. I bet it's getting some volume here. You see this volume? It did finally break out the consolidation. This was an ascending triangle right there. This was the resistance area. Once it broke it out, it's starting to get volume, and now this is the beginning of the move. I'm not partialing here. Why is that? This is just the beginning of the trend, and I am going to hold on to it. Like, I would be a little bit scared of VWAP. I'm not sure what it's going to do around it, but I'm not taking any partials. I'm just holding on to this one. This should be a good winner. So yeah, have a good day everyone, and see you in the chat room.